Premier Scott Moe and Federal Natural Resources Minister Jonathan Wilkinson were both in Regina on Wednesday. Both levels of government have had strong words over the years when it comes to environmental and energy policies. Premier Scott Moe says his provincial government has defended its jurisdiction when it comes to the use of natural resources and says it hasn't led to increased animosity.
We know where the provincial jurisdiction is. We know where those lines are. We're going to defend those lines when we feel they're being infringed on. But where the federal government is willing to work and work collaboratively, we will always work with them.
Moe says that means Saskatchewan and Ottawa coming together, finding solutions.
I think we need to get back to a point in time, whether we're serving government or whether we're involved in one of the aforementioned industries. We're all Canadians first.
Federal Minister Jonathan Wilkinson was in the Regina area for the opening of a solar project. He says it's time for Ottawa and the Saskatchewan government to find common ground.
I do think that we need to sort of try to set aside some of the rhetoric, and that's not trying to take a run at the province. That's the federal government too. We have to take ownership of some of that too, and look at how we can actually get back to a place where we can have a better conversation.
Wilkinson says that work starts with federal goals to have a net zero power grid by 2035.
I characterize the work that we have to do on the grid as kind of the railroad of this century. Like, it's an enormous undertaking. It will only happen if we work together, not just about the cleaning of the grid, but the expansion of capacity that we're going to need to support the industries of the future.
Premier Moe says the government is looking for wiggle room when it comes to certain environmental policies, which could include the federal government's planned phase-out of coal-fired electricity. For example, Saskatchewan's Shan Power Plant would need to be shuttered by 2030, 12 years before its retirement date. Moe says that doesn't make sense. He's hoping that'll be a policy change by the current federal government or a future one. Adam Hunter, CBC News, Regina.